Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Fatherless Sons. My name is Wiley, and I am your host, and this is episode 120. On today's episode, under Building Your Empire, we'll be talking about the things that will destroy your credit and how to find out what your credit score is. And stick around towards the end so that I can reveal today's episode, Fatherless and Famous. So be sure to stick around towards the end for that. Okay, so let's jump right into building your empire, and let's talk about the things that you can do that will totally destroy your credit score. And as we all know, credit scores are important. It's important for you to do just about anything in the United States. If you're trying to get a loan or rent an apartment or even get a job, they normally run your credit to see if you're credit worthy in order to get that loan or get that apartment. So that's the first thing they're going to check. So let's dive into the three things that can totally hurt your credit score. And I'm wondering if you can guess what those three things are. Let's start off with the first one, which is collections. If you have something go into collections, this will totally decimate your credit score. Just understand that. And some people out there have one, two, and possibly three things in collections. There's two ways that you can take care of anything that you may have in collections. You can call the debt collector and settle, and offer them 50%, maybe 60% of the debt so that they can take it off of your score. Now, if you do this, it will show as a settled debt. And some creditors don't like that. So kind of do that with at your own discretion. But it is a way to save money and have it taken care of so that it's no longer in collections. And that's the most important thing. You just don't want it in collections. The other is to call and pay the debt and pay it off and have it removed out of debt collection, so that it doesn't show as settled and it no longer shows in collections. Now, if you have the money to do that, then yeah, go ahead and take care of it that way. I think that's the best way to do it. You'll also see on the internet a lot of people saying ways to get out of paying a debt that you owe. If the collector doesn't follow this or follow that, then you can sue them, send them letters. I don't know anything about that. I'm not going to jump into that. If you have a debt, you should pay it. Okay. If you can't afford to pay it, settle it. The second thing that you can do that will totally tear up your credit score is pay your bills late. You need to pay all of your bills on time. The worst thing that can happen, like I've seen this happen before, where you have a car that breaks down and it no longer works and you don't want to pay, or a landlord who's not taking care of business and you don't want to pay them. Well, if they're reporting all of these missed payments to the credit agency, then it's destroying your credit score. Just know that before you make the decision to not pay. Or some people are just really bad at keeping up with their bills and they just don't pay on time. That's also a problem. So you want to be organized, keep up with your bills, pay them early, pay them on time, pay your credit cards completely off. Don't pay late. Even if you have to pay the minimum balance on a credit card, do that, but don't pay late. It's just that simple. Don't pay anything late, because if you have one late payment on your credit report, it takes years to get it off. It could take up to 24 months to make it to where that late payment is no longer negatively affecting your credit score. So pay nothing late. Pay every bill on time. Okay, so let's go to the last thing that can really hurt your credit score if you're trying to build your score up and take care of your credit. The last thing that people just kind of overlook or don't know that will really hurt their score is called credit utilization. Using too much of your credit, and God forbid, going over your credit limit, will hurt your credit tremendously. So you want to, number one, not use too much of your credit. For example, if you have a credit card, you don't want to max out the credit card. Don't think that if you have a $5,000 line of credit on your credit card that you can spend $5,000. You can't even spend half of that, $2,500, because you would have a 50% utilization on that. You need to keep that utilization below 30%. What I always tell people to do is when you get a credit card, pay off the balance every single month. I like reward cards because if you use a reward card, you're going to get some rewards at the end of the month for making your purchases that you would use on a debit card anyway from your bank. And just pay the entire balance of the credit card every single month and get the points for free. Now, just be disciplined to make sure you pay off the full amount every year if you use this strategy, because some people get themselves in hot water by not paying off the full balance every month. But yeah, credit utilization, you have to keep that low. Be disciplined on what you're purchasing. Do not overspend. Do not buy more than you can afford. Pay off the credit card every single month so that you're not paying interest and your credit utilization stays low. So now let's talk about what you can do to check your credit score and what you can do to rebuild credit scores that has taken a tumble. What I like to do when it comes to checking my score is I'll go to Credit Karma. I like Credit Karma because they give you two of the three major reporting agency scores. So that there's three major credit bureaus that track your score, and Credit Karma gives you two. Download the app. It's going to be full of ads. They're trying to sell you and trying to get you to apply for credit cards, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because they want you to apply for all these cards, and then these companies want you to use the card to get deeper into debt. So that's the bad side to the ads. But the good side of this is a good way to find out which credit cards you would most likely be approved for. Because getting a credit card, if you do it the right way, can actually help you build credit. Credit Sesame is another company that will do these ads to try to get you to apply for different cards and different loan offers and things like that. But it's a good way to check your score as well. I don't think anyone needs to pay for any additional services that Credit Karma gives you or Credit Sesame gives you, because these are free services where you can check your score, and it's a soft hit. It's not a hard hit on your credit score, which is important. So it's just a good way to monitor your score and see what others are looking at. Keep in mind also that the scoring system that Credit Karma and Credit Sesame uses is a little bit different than Experian and TransUnion and Equifax. Their scoring system can range anywhere from 400 to 900, while Credit Karma and Credit Sesame range can go anywhere from 350 to 850. So just know that they're using a different method to tally up your score. That's why you'll see a difference between what the bank might pull and show on your credit score versus what Credit Karma or Credit Sesame will show. It might be a 30 to 40 point difference in the score, plus or minus. Me as a banker, I know from looking at credit scores all the time, anything under 640, you're in trouble. There's going to be a lot of declines for credit that you're applying for. Anything over 700, maybe 720, 730 is considered really good. And if you are fortunate enough to have a score over 800, then you are in the tops. Like some people don't have enough credit. So you can start credit accounts by getting like a secured credit card to build credit and making sure that you pay that secure credit card on time. And there's other programs out there that will allow you to start an account and then pay down that account every single month so that you can build credit. They may charge you a small fee, like they may charge you $20 to do so. That's also okay because it will work. It will build up your score, your number. You may still not be approved for everything because some people reviewing your credit report will see what you did and they can decide, you know what, I don't think you have enough credit or established enough credit accounts. So they may not still give you the credit that you're looking for, but your score will be improved. Another thing you can do is open up more accounts because sometimes people only have 3 accounts and that could be holding their score down below 700. By opening up 5, 7, 10 accounts and having those accounts in good standing can improve your score. But you would have to open these accounts up over time. Don't open them up all at once because every time you open up a new credit account, they have to have a hard inquiry on your account, which can lower your score. So those are the things you want to keep in mind to avoid so that you do not destroy your credit score. And those are some tips also that you can use to build your score back up. Now let's go over Fatherless and Famous, where I will reveal today's episode's person that I selected. That person is Biggie Smalls. Biggie Small, as most of you know, is a famous rapper that was in the big giant West Coast, East Coast beef with Tupac, and they both were tragically murdered at the height of this beef that was between them two. Now, Biggie Small's mom, her name was Valletta. She was with George. That was the dad who left Valletta when Biggie Smalls was only 2 years old. Unlike a lot of people that are featured on this show, George never came back after Biggie Smalls made it big. He didn't come back, with his hand out asking for something. That was a surprise because Biggie Smalls made it real big. Valletta had to work 2 jobs to provide for her son, but her son still kind of fell into the streets out there in Brooklyn, ended up selling crack cocaine and drugs and just doing what he felt he had to do to put food on the table and take care of himself. Now, Biggie Smalls did really well when it came to rapping. So let's talk about his net worth. His net worth was $10 million when he passed away. But this is where the story really gets interesting. When he passed away, Valletta, his mom, she kept all of his masters. She was very strategic when it came to managing his legacy and the rights to his music and his likeliness. When it came to the movie that they ended up producing and releasing, she made some really great strategic moves. And she built his $10 million estate up to $160 million. Wow. I'd love to hear this. Like, she teamed up with the right people and she used her own intelligence to make some great moves and build an empire from $10 million to $160 million. And right before she passed away in 2025, she actually sold half of the rights for $200 million and kept the other half of the rights so that Biggie's kids will forever be taken care of. I love to hear about great moves. And this is what I always like to see people do. When you have money and you have the ability to make some moves, get the right people in your corner, get the right advice, be cautious, be smart, decide what's the best move and make the best moves after, careful deliberation and advice from a lot of different sources. Don't just listen to one, listen to many people and then use your own intellect to make the right decision. And that's what it sounded like she did. So bravo to her. Hats off. That'll do it for today's episode. Thanks for joining. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit that like button and thumbs up, and leave your comments if you have any comments to share. I like to try to read every single comment that is left on my videos, so please do not hesitate to do so. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time.